Well, what else can I say except I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. So the DLC news is completely leaked as far as it concerns for Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, our friendly neighborhood Sergio M3, he is a trusted and credible data miner. He has gone in and the full DLC is leaked. All 8 characters have been leaked and they are as follows. Base form Goku. I can't believe I'm saying this. Base form Vegeta, Ranger 17, Cooler, Fuse Zamasu, Vegito, Broly, and Bardock. So I was right on everything. I told you guys that this was going to be the DLC weeks ago. And wouldn't you know it, I am 100% right. Every character. Now, the only thing that I don't know is I don't know whether Vegito is going to start out in base form and go to Super Saiyan Blue, or is he going to start out in Super Saiyan and go Super Saiyan Blue. But if they're pairing him with Fuse Zamas, either he's going to be Super Saiyan Blue the entire time, or he's going to just go from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan Blue. That's just the way that I see it. But it's ridiculous. I look at this DLC roster and it is pathetic. And I kind of knew. I knew that there wasn't going to be any tournament of power characters included in this DLC simply because the characters are too new, and from what the Dragon Ball FighterZ developers and from what that failure Tomoko Hiroki has said is that the characters take over 6 months, which I don't believe. They take over 6 months each character, and they take a couple $100,000 to develop these characters, which for me, I'm saying that that's pathetic because the payoff isn't as good, because a company like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 can make the characters, the new characters that we want, and spend considerably less resources making them. But let's not make it a comparison video. This roster is trash. This DLC, the base game roster is trash. The DLC roster is trash. So I'm glad I threw the game in the trash can, in the proverbial trash bag, like I did in the last Dragon Ball FighterZ video. But I'm looking at this and I just feel bad for some of these people, but some people are actually being ignorant and arrogant and actually trying to defend base form Goku and base form Vegeta being DLC in a Dragon Ball game in 2018. Do you not see how idiotic that is? Really? These characters, I mean, and the reason that they've done that is pretty clear. Like, you would be wondering, well, why aren't Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta the DLC and base form Goku and Scouter Vegeta in the base game? It's because it's marketing. It's deplorable marketing, because I don't believe that Namco made Arc System Works to do that. I believe that they just did that because they know how marketing works. They put the new shiny characters in a base game to lure people to get more day one sales, and then they insult your intelligence by selling you the base form characters later on. Like, and I mean, Broly, I mean, that's not even acceptable. Let's really take a deeper view into this. Every one of these characters on this DLC roster is in the base game of Xenoverse 2, except Fuse Zamas and potentially Vegito Blue and Ranger 17. Let's give them that. So 5 of their 8 DLC characters can be found in the base game of Xenoverse 2. Let that sink in for a moment. So people are willingly getting duped because they're caught up in that honeymoon phase of Dragon Ball FighterZ. They don't want to see anything wrong that the game can do, even though that there's tons of issues that we'll be talking about in a future video for FighterZ that I would like to highlight, because the ridiculousness gets even more ridiculous. But this DLC news, I was laughing when I saw the Sergio M3 post on GameFAQs that I proceeded to watch, and I was elated. I was like, I knew it. That's what I kept saying to myself. I knew it. I knew that they was gonna scam these fighters, cuck boys, that just everything FighterZ does is right. Every other Dragon Ball game is supposedly trash because it's only all the other games are just big rosters. This one is better. It's the better gameplay, and then you guys are willingly getting duped. Willingly getting duped. It's pathetic. I don't care how many units that Dragon Ball FighterZ has sold. What's really going to be telling is the longevity of the game as far as playtime, because you can fool people into impulse buying the game, but you can't fool them twice, because if they remember that FighterZ 1 was a terrible experience and then the playtime plummets, like the community becomes completely inactive after a month or two, then it doesn't matter how much the game is sold. If Arc System Works sees that the playtime isn't up as they would like it to be, FighterZ 2 isn't gonna happen. And this DLC roster is not gonna help them. I don't care what shiny moves that they put in the game, it's just not gonna help them at all. And that's my stance on it. This roster is like the only tournament of power character, air quotations, is Ranger 17. And I feel like they just did that because they didn't make him his own character, with the whole 18 debacle, him not being able to be played, independent of Android 18. So it just, like, I just can't believe it. I keep looking at this roster list, I keep watching Sergio M3's video, and while I'm laughing, I just can't believe Arc System Works and Tomoko Hiroki can be this deplorable in how they're treating their dupable fan base. Because this isn't all Xenoverse. If you had done this in Xenoverse, if they had made Base Form Goku and Base Form Vegeta DLC in Xenoverse, the Xenoverse community would be in shambles. It would be riots. People would be crapping all over Dimps on Twitter and on social media. But because this is the honeymoon phase of FighterZ, it's the first game, people are willingly being fooled. People are just letting this pass, and this is how bad communities start. That's all I'm gonna say. This is how communities start off not getting what they want, because Arc System Works sees that the bare minimum of base form Goku and base form Vegeta works on you guys. So next game, guess who's gonna be DLC? Zarbon and Dodoria. The next Dragon Ball game. Oh look, now you can play as Cyberman and Cell Jr. When does the hilarity end? When does the comedy end with this community? Now, I've seen pockets of outrage. I've looked on I looked on Twitter, I looked on GameFAQs, I looked on a couple of Discord channels or servers, and there was some outrage. But in every instance, you had a FighterZ fanboy right there at the ready. Well, FighterZ is a new game. You gotta give them time. There's nothing wrong with Base Form Goku and Vegeta being DLC. They're gonna be better than what they were in Xenoverse. It's not about that. First off, nothing in this game is better than anything in Xenoverse, and that's a perfect opinion from yours truly, Perfection. But when you look at it, it's just the principle of the matter, because the next thing you know, they're going to have, oh, look, First Form Cell DLC. Because we got away with Base Form Vegeta and Base Form Goku, we're going to push it to making Base Form Cell DLC. And then we're going to make it Base Form Second Form Cell. Then we're going to make it Second Form Frieza, First Form Frieza, and so on and so forth, to where they've dumbed down the roster to 20 or 30 characters, and then they're giving you characters that we already have in current Dragon Ball games. That's the problem here. You're giving them an inch, they're going to take a mile. They're testing the community, and the community is failing. All these little bells and whistles they're doing. Oh, look, we got commentators pack. We got anime music pack. FighterZ is good, you guys. FighterZ is so good. Stop it. You're killing your own franchise before it really gets out the gates. I don't care how many FGC goons play this game for whatever views they need to get on, or whatever the case, or whatever reasons they're doing it. The game is not good. It's not adequate. It's doing stupid things. And this DLC is just evidence of that. So when the community decides to be enlightened, when they decide to stop letting Arc System Works put them over a barrel, that's when this community can actually get things that they want put into fighters. Not the pointless bells and whistles, but actual content. Because a lot of people have been saying that there's certain things in this game that are lacking. And instead of trying to distract you with BS DLC, they should be fixing these issues that we'll be talking about in another Dragon Ball FighterZ episode. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Of course, I've been your perfect being and the #1 anime, gaming, and Dragon Ball channel on YouTube. Of course, the name is Perfection. Don't forget, become a true perfectionist. Support me on Patreon in a link below. And hit that subscribe button and also click that notification bell so that you get all the updates for this channel as they come out. I've been your perfect being, and I'm signing out.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say